Hello, my peeps. You caught me drinking my tea. Yep, I'm pretty sure we're live now. Happy Tuesday. What is the date today? I just typed it. Why can't I remember? It's the 16th of April. This is like 2 minutes early this week. So let's just ramble. Here's today's thought-provoking question while we wait for 7 o'clock to roll around and everybody else to join us. Why is the really light, like it's super dry, like just really small, light, flaky snow? Why is it called corn snow? Does anybody know the answer? Because I've always heard it referred to as corn snow. I don't have the foggiest idea why. I don't even know if that's true, if that's like actually what it's called. But it is good old spring in Alberta. So we go from 15 degrees to 1 degree to rain to snow to hot to back to this. And it was windy. It was very windy today. But started out as a fairly nice day. Cloud over all day, and now yes, we have this very, like, it's really light right now, but corn snow. So that's the question. Why is it called corn snow? Because usually I can make a, well, there's that. The other one is the frost, right? With the name, the questionable name. And it's like the most beautiful thing and has such a horrible name. And that one I did Google once. Um, and it's named after a person, and it's not spelled the way that the other word is spelled. The hoarfrost. We're talking about hoarfrost. But yeah, corn snow. I don't know. Is there Mr. Corn decided that was the name of this really light? I mean, this snow doesn't amount to anything. I would much rather it was the original forecast was for rain today. And I'm like, bring it on. Good. Just springtime, pour down rain, clean everything up, green everything up. That would have been fantastic. But no, let's change it. And I think we have another chance of snow later in the week. I think maybe Thursday, maybe I think. And then it's supposed to get nicer again. And then next week it'll all be in the teens again. But yes, with all this dry grass, wind is not our friend. Rain is our friend. So that's what we need. Alrighty, it is now 7 o'clock. Okay. Oh, just when I gotta switch my. I don't know. I'm holding this pen today and I can't stop. Like I want to chew on this pen nonstop. I don't know. It's probably noticeable. I think it's like hugely noticeable. But I have this chipped tooth in the front, and I actually chipped my tooth by doing this in a meeting, chewing on a fan, and all of a sudden, yeah. So that's how I do. So I really should know better, but I do it anyways. Okay, I just have to switch my phone or my camera to the overhead view so we can follow along on my list. There we go. Then we'll go back to the view I want, and then we'll click on the right button to get my comments back. It's such a production. There we go. Everything is how I want it now. Okay. I was having fun today, and I didn't finish everything because I wanted to like show you some stuff and then see if what I thought would work would work. You know, you have that like picture in your head, you want to see if it works. Well, we're about to do that. So I'm excited to get started on that. But there is business to be had. So, very quickly, let me know if you're coming on Thursday to our midweek escape. We've got a few people registered already. Yesterday was the deadline because I like to know how much to make sure I have in spaces and the treats that I bring people, and how many tables to set up. So, but I will give you till today. If you let me know today, you can still get in on that. I didn't have any RSVPs for the trusty tools, so I have canceled that one. I am doing a private event with that, but I've canceled the class. I haven't. I'm supposed to have the newsletters down here. It says newsletter Friday. I'm supposed to have the newsletter today, but I was busy and I didn't get my samples done. So on the 2nd of June, so let's move that up far enough. We are doing this. This is not just a great stamp set. Oops. Has these phenomenal dies to go with it. Oh, love them. So this is the class we're doing. So I will work up some of those samples before Friday so you can see and get all that information out. And then, so that's this one. And then summer school, which I'm really looking forward to, which is going to be on, let's go with the 10th and 24th of July and the 7th of August, I think, are the 3 dates. It's 3 Wednesday nights. There's Zoom meetings. And we're using this adorable stamp set. And we're going to do some techniques and some fun folds. And look at this shopping cart. Love it. But this is just such a cute thing. I've seen so many things with it. And look at these. I love this sentiment. I use this one today. But all these great sentiments. So everybody's going to have the same stamp set. We're going to work with the same stuff. We're going to make 3 cards, 3 different get-togethers. It's all going to be prepackaged. So if you have to take it ahead and just do it like on your own, you can. It's just a way to keep us connected and crafting and doing fun stuff through the summer. So looking forward to that. I'm going to try to get some of that stuff done. I think I forgot to mention it the last time. So my retired product sale is going to be on the 15th of June. I'm going to do it out of my garage, good old school garage, because I'm having trouble finding a building here. Still working on it, but so far not. So chances are, and I should have that ready to go soon. I'm just going to advertise that we're doing it. I might have one other person doing it with me, but we'll see how that goes. And we're just going to book slots, or I'm going to book slots so that when you come, that's the we. I don't try to have 40 people in my garage at once because my garage is not that big. I have a good, nice, oversized garage. The guy that I bought the house from, the original guy that built it, was a car van. There was a big lift in there. There's lights. I got a car garage. I am not a car person, but it is still not big enough for 40 people. So it will likely be like VIPs will get first dibs at the first few blocks, and then we'll have other blocks, and everybody will get, I don't know, probably half an hour is enough, but we'll do them in blocks just so that everybody doesn't show up at once. And yeah, first come, first serve, just like any other kind of garage sale. But this way I can manage the crowds. And if we can get it going back to a bunch of vendors in a bigger building, if we can find something that works, I'll let you know. Any demos out there? When I first looked, I was getting my son ready for school. So we're looking at, well, I was just prompting him. He was getting himself ready. He's a teenager now. He can do that. I don't know, 7:30. I looked at the website, and then we had our weekly updates, but there was no mention of Creativity Now. I went back in sometime this afternoon, and I noticed that there's a thing for it now. But starting first thing this morning, you could register for Creativity Now, which is a demo-only event. So sorry, customers, become a demo. Trust me, it's so much fun. But that went live today, and you have until the 3rd of May to register. So you got like a 2-week window, I think. Yes. Looking forward to that. That's just a fun, creative virtual day. Lots of fun. Okay, down here, almost at the bottom. The ISR, that's the Inventory Status Report, I think is what that stands for. I don't know. I write ISR all the time. I'm not even sure. I've been keeping an eye on this. So right before the stuff went on sale, so the 8th of April, I looked at the inventory, and I think at that day in the morning there was like 9 stamp sets that had sold out already, and a couple other things, but is predominantly that. Then things went on sale like midnight on the 9th. So I looked, or I guess I looked on the 8th, midnight on the 9th. So then I got up in the morning on the Tuesday, the day the sale started, and there was 20-some stamp sets already sold out. And that's how it goes. And then I looked later in the day, and it was like 30-some stamp sets that sold out. So today I went and I'm going to go count stamp sets. And there's like 54 stamp sets that are sold out. All of the in-color refills are sold out. A bunch of embellishments are sold out, a couple of the punches, some of the die sets. So stuff is going. If nothing else, though, after the 30th of April, you don't get to buy it whether it's in stock or not, because they will turn off those numbers to make room for the new catalog. So if there is something you want, some of it's on sale, some of it's regular price, some of it is carrying over. But if you want to get the bundle price, the 10% off, you got to do it before the 30th of April. I did start dropping off a couple of the catalogs. Like I said, it's been a little busier than expected. So this will be like more during the week. You can't order anything from them until the 1st anyways. And I want all the orders into me by the 30th if you want to do that. Oh, hello, Mary. My comments are getting cut off here on the bottom. I just noticed your name there. Oh, there we go. So yeah, if you got like 2 weeks to look at it, it's a lot of fun to look at. But I will be getting those out. They'll all be out this week by the time I'm done. So that's the business stuff. Not the business is not fun. I do enjoy the business part of like planning the events and doing all that kind of stuff. But let's get on to the making of things. But first, I need to sip up my tea just a minute. I've been talking too much today. I had a lovely lunch or breakfast this morning with my bestie partner in crime, Tamara. And we just chatted. It was so much fun. And then yeah, I've just had like every day has been something. And lots of talking. So yes, I'm finding my throat is taking the toll. Okay, so if you saw my little teaser earlier, I said, who wants to make a fence card? And I said, who wants to know what a fence card is? Because, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I want to say, I was looking at Instagram, and I'm not good with Instagram, like, not at all. And it was scrolling by, and this really cool, and it wasn't a Stampin' Up card, like none of the products were Stampin' Up. But it was this really cool card, and so I watched her make it, and I was like, oh, that's neat. Now, I thought I saved the video in my Instagram thing so I could go back and reference it. If I did, I don't know where it is. I mean, I hit the button saved. I could have sworn it said saved, but like I said, I'm not good with Instagram, so I couldn't find it. Well, as it turns out, yesterday or the day before, I went into Facebook to not to scroll through Facebook, to go with a purpose. And the first thing that pops up is a card similar to what this other lady had done that was on the Demonstrator website or Facebook page though. And that person I noticed had called it a fence card, and I was like, oh, that's a good name for it. And so I was like, cool. I don't even remember what her card looked like. Like I just remember she had done the same technique. So then I couldn't find the video, so I'm like, I'll go back and find that card. Could not find that card for the life of me. So I have no idea whose idea this was or where it came from or anything. It's just a really cool card. So what is a fence card? Have I made you wait long enough? Ta-da! It's a fence card. And I think it's called a fence card because this bottom part looks like a fence, obviously. But it's just such a fun card. And so the lady that I saw on YouTube, like I said, it was totally different. She just had these tall flowers in front of her fence, like what would grow in front of the fence. And I do realize that like wildflowers growing in front of the fence probably aren't tied up in a bow, but I needed a bow. So isn't it a nice card though? I just love this card. And so this is how it started out. I was just grabbing pieces and it turned out pretty good because this was like my first try ever. The only way you can tell that this is my sample card is that I tried a couple different things with the flowers and I could just flip the pieces over and then cut them again. And I'm like, oh, I can still use those. And then I realized that no. So lesson number 1 from today is remember that you can see when you open the card. So it does matter what is on the back of what you put on the front. And this one, I did like stamp some greenery here. It's not super dark. If you wanted to write on this whole card, you could. But this is just kind of like the little bits that pop through. But it's not a huge amount. And this card does stand up. Right? So I'm going to show you how to do this. But as my brain works, I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll do that. And then I was like, oh, what if? Oh, but then, oh. So I made one other card. I never got time to make the other one that I thought of. And then I have like sort of halfway through the one that I want to see if it works. So we're just going to play and see how this all comes together. So yeah, this is it is really easy. The hardest part of this is deciding what flowers you're going to put on the front of it. And we'll see how it goes when we get to the other one. But actually, I'm just going to leave this. Can I do both, I wonder? So today's other challenge is I have so much stuff on my desk because I've been like working on so many things at once. Is how much, how small can my space just keep creeping in and creeping in and creeping in before I run out of room to actually work? That'll be today's challenge. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way because it is actually in my way. Okay, so I told you if you wanted to play along. I didn't tell you what to bring to decorate, but that's do like your thing. But if you want to make just like the base of your card, and even if you just make it as a sample, the reason I picked this petal pink color is because I had a whole bunch of these card bases left over from a class, and this one got dirty. I don't know where, but it's okay because I'm just going to use it as my template. I'm not even going to finish the front of it. I'm just going to show you how to make this card. So this is your half sheet of cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So what we are doing, and what did I do with my little thing? Oh, put it over here. In the interest of time, I am going to use, and I'm sorry, Mary, because I know how much you want one of these. I'm just going to use my little mini guillotine here. You could do, I said to bring your trimmer, and I do have a trimmer, and a trimmer would go perfectly for this, only I have so much stuff on my desk, I don't have room to set my trimmer down flat. So we're not using a trimmer. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this card, and it doesn't matter because right now this is just like it all looks the same, but what is going to be the front of the card, we're just going to take, and we are going to cut 6 half-inch strips. Now, if you happen to have a patterned card base, and you want it, I'm not sure that it would work with one, but and you wanted to keep these in order, like as you were cutting them off, keep them in order if you had done something with them. In this case, I'm just doing this so I can remember how many I've cut. There's no rhyme or reason other than trying to remember how many I've cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm cutting 6 of these off. So I now have, that one stuck to the thing. I now have 6 of these pieces. Oops. And my half card base. Let me just get oh, here, I'll do it this way. That's what I was going to do anyways. So I'm going to just take my silicone mat. So just to give you an idea, nope, can't see. There we go. That's how much of my card I just cut off. So I cut 6, what did I say, 6? So I just cut 3 inches off the bottom of my card. Now what we're going to do, and so when I made this card, because again, I had nothing to go back and reference. Sorry, Mary. So, and I love it, and I hope it never breaks because I love it so much. So when I made this card, and I was thinking it was a fence, so I thought you should be able to see the fence posts. So I put them on the outside. And then in hindsight, I like this one, you can't even see at all. And then I thought, nope, this is long. This doesn't make any sense. So this time I'm going to do it going underneath. But if you're comparing pictures later, yes, I did put them on the outside because I was like, I don't know which way it's supposed to go. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take 2 of these that are going to become, this time I'm going to do this so you can actually see what I'm doing. We're going to take 2 of these that are going to become these crossbars, or sorry, uprights. And then we're going to take these ones and we're going to space them out. And that's how we got the fence. Now, I told you, it was easy. It's the decorating part that's, was going to probably take you more time. And my card is not, like this is not staying down because I have my silicone mat jammed in here. This is lesson number 2, tip number 2 that Tracey learned as she was going. So originally, I had taken this white piece of paper, my little white cardstock, and I had just set it on the inside because I thought it'll make it easier to see. And I'm gluing all these little pieces, all the little fence pieces together, which was great. And then I started gluing all these things on. And I was paying attention to where this was hitting to make sure that I was like not hitting but somehow I still screwed up and almost glued my card shut. And so I had to flip this piece of paper over because it's got glue on the backside and stamp on this side and then put it back in again. So then I thought, okay, yes, you have to watch where you're going, but instead of gluing your card shut while you do it, it'd be better just to put your silicone mat there and do it this way. So it's not totally closing. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're just going to trim these off. Now, everybody has their adhesive of choice, I know. And mine is generally tear and tape. But in the case of this, the Tombow glue, which, oh, here we go. This is my Tombow glue. Like it is the glue that Stampin' Up sells. And it is very good glue. I just happen to have a little smaller thingy for it with a finer tip. And that's all I'm doing. I just take it from there and put it in here. So I'm just using the white glue. Rascal. Again, every time I go live, somebody decides to drive a truck down the road and they have not asked his permission first. Okay, so to put these on, we have to move things a little bit to begin with. So to put these on, this is the front of my card, right? I want to attach them. I'm going to attach them on the underside. I think that's why I put them on the outside the last time, just because it was easier. So I'm flipping my card over so that I can get to like the underside of this. And all I'm going to do, I decided, and you're trimming some of this off. So like I said, I'm working without instructions this point. I'm doing whatever I want. But it made sense to me that I just need about this much to overlap. And because I wanted them even, I put down one little piece of, get that out of the way. I put down this little spare one. I'm just using it as a marker. And then I put the second one down. And then I moved the first one away. And now I have something to butt my ends up against. Let's see if I do it this way so my hand's not in the way. Knocking everything over. So now I have, here's my little space. I can see that I'm somewhat evenly spaced. So I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow on the end of this one. You like my little stand that I made for this little guy? This is from twine. And then I just glued it, like I punched out a circle and I glued it on. And it is the perfect little stand for that. Okay, so this is however you want to space it. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason. If you were looking at a real fence, like most fences, there's fairly wide gaps between the posts. But if I don't want to put a post on either side and have this big like space in the middle. So I'm putting this. Oops. Oh, I just pushed it. That's the good part about the Tombow is that you have a little bit of play, but if you're not paying attention, you knock it right out of position. So I'm putting just like a little bit on either side, and trying to have the bigger gap in the middle to make it look a little more realistic to effects. You could make them even if that's how you want to do it. I don't think there's a right or wrong, so those are my thighs. Okay, so I'm just doing this. Mine are not exactly even, but they're close. And because this would have stuff on top of it, you probably won't even notice. Okay, so make sure that these are as straight as you can get them, like vertically straight. Oh yeah, that's way different. And I gotta move this one. Because I had it off to the side a little bit, it looked straighter, but as soon as I put it right way up, no, they're not even at all. Okay. Move this over here. Okay. That's what I meant. So I have like a little bit here and I have the wider span in the middle, which is sort of representative. And then this is just hanging up by like half an inch or so. But I want these to be vertical. These are as like straight as possible. So now I'm going to turn it back over. I'm going to put my little silicone mat back there. Now, I don't know if you can see it as well. I think, yeah, you can. So I can see where the bottom of this card is through here. So my first one that I put down, and my thing kept popping open even when I was doing it this afternoon. It kept popping open. I want to put the first one down so that I can get my spacing right. And I want the first one, putting little squares of glue every time. I want it to line up perfectly with the bottom of my card. So I'm going to the bottom corner, and because I can see through here, I can see where the bottom of my card is. So that's where I'm putting my bottom one. Now, normally I would give maybe a little more time to dry, but I want to get moving. Got things to show. I want to see if my other card works out. And then I'm just going to trim these little extra bits off. Okay, so back we go. You could do that afterwards, but they're going to be in my way. I want this to be a little bit easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. Okay, so now I have my bottom one. So now I like to dry fit. I tell you this every time, dry fit. So these are spaced, these are 1/2 inch strips. And there's, I want maybe like 3/8 of an inch in between them. But just kind of put them down to begin with before you glue anything down. If you put them down and you look and you try to get even spacing, because then now you know what the spacing is. So now you can just one by one glue them on with that spacing. And then once these are all glued on, and you want the see, I'm talking about the spacing this way, but you want these to line up with the edge of your card this way, like right, so the whole edge is going to line up and to the bottom. And you'll see in a second when I pull this out that it works. So once you get all of these on, then you have to do like whatever you're going to put on to decorate. So then I think that would give you enough time to let all these little pieces dry, so that you're not moving them around. And I wouldn't get super hung up on like I want the ends to look, and I want them to look as level as possible. But you notice, I mean, by the time I put this stuff on the front, you don't see as much. Like you can see that the edges line up, but the rest of it, it's not like super obvious if something's a little wonky. But if you start out, like you got your best bet of doing it this way. And I'm just gonna put a little bit there. And so yeah, this is the beauty of the liquid glue at this point, is because I'm laying this down and then I'm making sure my ends are going the right, like out far enough. And then I'm making sure it's level, and I'm making sure my spacing, and then I push down. And liquid glue gives you that time. So there's my fence. And if I take this this piece out, now because this one's first, it's a little bit drier, so I'm confident that this will work. Ta-da! There's my card. So now, these are just die cuts from a different project, but so now I can put whatever die cuts I want on here. This card, I just, oh, my bow it got in the way all of a sudden. I just stamped a little hello down here. I was going to stamp up here, but then I decided to put butterflies up there. So, but there's no like mandatory rule that you have to do something a certain way. You could certainly stamp up in here. I'll show you on one of the other cards. I actually put a label on the fence, but I mean, I could have a label here. I'm just grabbing things off my desk, not necessarily things at work, but right. I mean, I could have a label down here. I could have this label over here. It's whatever. Decorate however you want. The idea is that you have this like cool little fence look, right? Fence card. Oh, I have too many things in the way. Okay, so this is how I embossed my fence to make it look. See? Oh, you wouldn't do it again. Well, so here's the thing. So as I'm making the first card, I think to myself, oh, I'd like to make it look like wood grain, but I also need, like, I'd like it to be where this part is blue for the sky, but this is like weather, like that kind of grayish brown, that barnwood looking, and like actual wood grain. So then I was like, well, I guess I'd have to use two different pieces of card. Like, so that's how that started. And then I thought, and you'll see what I came up with in a sec here. But so then I thought, yeah, but then you can also poke through here. So I'm going to have the fence, and then it's going to be blue, and this is all going to be blue. Like, I'd like it if I could get the flowers behind. So in the end, I very quickly made this card. And so it achieves a bunch of things. This is a boho, just a regular old boho card base. And this is the new, I think it's called Thoughtful Journey. I all of a sudden forgot the name of it. Just a minute. It's sitting right beside me. Everything is sitting right beside me. I didn't have time to put anything away. So this is the Thoughtful Journey DSP. So I just cut a piece, and I cut it like 4¼ by 5½. It covers the entire card front. And then this little strip that I cut off of here, I fussy cut these two thistle out of, and then I just kind of stuck them under the fence. But then, so then I made my, like, this is Pebbled Path. I love Pebbled Path color. And I embossed it with the wood grain folder. And I just, so in this case, I just cut a strip. I knew how much of a strip I took to do this. And I had one extra strip left over, but it was too tall. Because this one I didn't go all the way to the bottom because my card is here. So I did make like a little fence. And I put this happy birthday is so awesome. That's from the Attention Shoppers one I told you I had used. I love that sentiment. So I did make a fence card, but this is just like a card with a fence on it. But you do have to watch because like the embossing of the paper changes the paper and it softens it up. I don't know if embossing this, if it would make it too flimsy on the bottom half. You can certainly do it if you do it here. But yeah, I was trying to figure out if I did it this way, but then it gets very, yeah, I think it breaks it down too much. But anyways, this was my cute idea of this is how I get the blue and this is how I get the fence. And it's not even at all this like technique. Isn't that DSP nice? And so this is my second favorite pattern in this DSP. My favorite pattern is even bigger thistles. Like there's this beautiful scenery stuff, but I love those thistles. And I'm surprised how well I managed to say that. So anyways, that was my, oh, here's how I get the sky. But then I also had the idea, and this is as far as I got on that card, was you could make a card where it was like the night sky with like a black fence going this way, like make the fence on the bottom, and then have like a moon and a cat. But I only got as far as grabbing 2 pieces of paper and I ran out of time because I was working on my other idea. Okay, so I'm going to move this off to the side for a minute. So then I decided, okay, if I'm going to go with like 2 different ones, what I wanted to use was the cows. Yeah, that's what I figured. It does make it like really soft. And in the case of this wood grain, I have dimensionals here, here, and here, like 3 dimensionals on each one of these strips to hold this up. So I don't think this on its own would be strong enough to hold. So I get what you're saying, Mary. Okay, so I decided, here I have to go back to my original template here in a sec. I decided I wanted to try it with like the cows behind the fence. And so I thought, oh, I'll do this. But I'm like, wait a minute, that's not going to work. I'm going to put my lid on my glue. I know better. There we go. And I thought, well, that's not going to work the way I want it to. Look how short this cow looks on a portrait card base, right? I was like, I don't think so. I need to do it this way. Okay, let's do it that way then. So, and it probably would have, like, maybe it could have worked. Maybe I could have had him, I don't know. In my mind, I was like, that's going to look weird. So I went back to my whole, I want 2 different colors. So what I did was I decided I was going to have my little pool party base, my happy sunny sky base. And because I was going this way, because this guy was shorter, because this thing is, like I said, I'm making this up. I saw some pictures. I don't know what they did on their original one. The one in the video I saw, I have no idea what size. I think it looked like she was cutting half-inch strips. I don't really know. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go this way, but I still want to have like at least 3 bars across. I like things in threes. So I want to have at least 3 like fence boards going, but I don't want my card can't be this big here either. It has to be a short fence. Plus, I absolutely love this stamp with the sunflowers. I don't know if you can see. So my idea was the sunflowers are here, like up against the sky, and then we put the fence with the cows in front. So that was my whole plan. So what I did is I cut, I want to say 1.25 inches, but let me just double check. I cut 1.25 inches just off the bottom of this blue card. And then I cut 1.25 inches off the bottom of the crumb cake one. So at some point, maybe I'll just make a card that looks like this, or maybe I'll just use these for other things. But what I have, just a minute, I gotta find somewhere to put my stuff. I cut the 1.25 inches, I cut it into 1/4-inch strips instead. Because I don't want this huge fence. I want a small fence that goes with the scale of my cow. I was being very, very technical. So here's what I'm thinking is going to work. I'm thinking I'm going to use 1 or 2 of these, depending. I think I could probably just use 1. And I'm going to put like 3 pieces across because that's a long span. And then I'm going to make my fence this time. I am going to have to go to the bottom, I think, though, just so that I have a bit more stability on my card. So then I'm going to make my fence. Oh, no, I can do it that way. Oh, I just changed my mind. Look at that. This seems like it ends a little bit too far. So I'm going to actually, again, dry fit, because you never know what you're going to do. I think I can put one here, like that just goes along the bottom of that too. And then I'm pretty sure, because this is 5 and this only needs to be 1 1/4. Yep. 1 1/2, 1 1/2, 1 1/2, 4 1/2. Okay. So I'm going to cut these into 1 1/2 inch pieces. Like I said, I was going to finish this. I did this. I got the whole rest of what I needed for the card ready. I think what I need for the card. But I thought if you could see this process of how I was like winging it, but coming up with stuff, then it would give you an idea if you wanted to make your own, kind of a rough idea how to do it. So I will also tell you that, yes, I did take the guard off my, let's move this up so you can see what I'm doing. I did take the guard off of my, the thing like the day I got it, because it was in my way. I like to have my fingers right in the middle of things. But so I'm cutting this little strip. Any small stuff, this is the way to go. Hello, Inika. I think you may have joined us before. Welcome back if you have. So the thing I'm doing on this one too is I am putting so I'm going to my 1 1/2 inch mark, but then I'm lining the edge of my paper up against one of the grid lines so that I'm getting a straight cut is all I'm doing. So there we go. Now I have my 3 fence posts. I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, so like I did before, I'm going to flip my card over. This time I'm going to do this though. Nope, actually I'm not going to do that. Change of plans. I need to put my sunflowers on it. Just a second. Like I said, I'm winging this because the idea was in my head. So let's just see if the idea in my head translates. Okay. And I'm also going to see if I can color on this cardstock and what it's going to do, but we're just going to find out as we go. So this was my idea. Here's another. I think we're on like tip number 3 or 4 for you. If you are going to stamp, I'm going to stamp an entire row of sunflowers across the back of this card. And my instinct is to start at one end and stamp across. But that never works out for me for spacing. I always end up with something wonky. So what I have learned is start in the middle. So, and I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to put, I need a trick. I'm going to put one of my strips along the edge of this, just so I can have a bit longer fence. So this, nobody's going to see the ends of these stems. Like this one happened to line up perfectly, but it didn't matter because if it didn't, because I'm going to do it that way anyways. So what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to go, this one's going to be just a little bit lower, just for some character, because they're not going to be exactly the same. And then this one's kind of partway in between. And then this one I'm going to go full height, but I'm probably only getting 1 flower. Ooh, That was very close. That was right on the edge of my mat that is underneath. And then this one's the same. I'm going to go this way. Maybe I should ink up the whole flower. There we go. So I have my wall of sunflowers. I mean, you could make them even. I just don't want them even. So that's what I did. Okay, so remove that out of the way for now. Okay, now, so this is my card. So I want to put them on the back here. So I got to flip it over. There we go. Sometimes I lose track of my own things. I will bring my little glue back out again with my fancy dancy stand that I have. Nope, I was going to see if that was, I will use my cow. My card keeps wanting to fold up on me, so there we go. Okay, so I need to double check. Just a minute, sorry. I in my mind I was making that the right way, but in my mind I was also gonna I have to put them on the front of the card. I was gonna make it pointy, but if I do that, then that doesn't work. Sorry. In my head I'm working that out. What stamp set are the sunflowers from? The cutest cows. I love this stamp set. Milk jug, the little rooster and chicken. There's a teeny little chick over here. We have sunflowers. We have a variety of cows. We have a little single flower. There's all the different little faces and stuff you can put on. There's a little cowbell. There's all sorts of really cute little things in here. But like I made a bunch of note cards with just the sunflowers. They were just so cute. Yeah, see, that's right. That's what I thought. Like the chances of looking out at a field and everything being, no. This is the beauty of it. Whee! Besides which, if you try to make things straight and you make one of them crooked, then it sticks out. If you purposely don't make them straight, then it doesn't look like anything's wrong. Even when you, like this one, my spacing's a little off, but who cares? It's not even going to be noticeable. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to have to, because I was thinking that I was going to move this up one, but because I realize that I have nothing on the bottom of this card, I have to put this one here. So I'm just going to do like this and make sure. Yeah, I just have to make sure that I span the right amount. So I'm going to put a little dot on that one. And on this one. These are going to have a piece that goes over top of them. So it's not going to matter that, like, they don't have to be super, super secure. They just have to be able to stay. Okay, so if I'm putting 3 of these, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the sunflowers, and I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm going to drop it. Yeah. And then I'm not going all the way to the edge of the card because I like the way the fence looks this way, like with spaces on either side. Can you see over here this other piece of fence? I stuck my finger in the glue, as I want to do. I very commonly do that. Oh, these sunflowers are so cute, Mary. They're so cute. So yes, I was picking it up without intentionally trying to. And then this is my last one. And I'm just going to try to space it the same in from the edge of the card. So there we go. So now I've got my 3 uprights. Before they're 100% dry, I'll just make sure that they, there. Now I did decide that I was going to put like the top of the fence here. And then I'm going to have the bottom of the fence. And then I'm going to have 2 slats. So what I'm going to do now is do the bottom. And the reason I'm waiting on the other stuff is because I don't actually know how the cows are going to work yet. Haven't totally figured that out. So this one, and again, same as the first one, I'm just making sure that it lines up with the bottom of the card and the edges of the card. Okay, so even though I don't have my full fence, I'm going to guess this will stand. So there's my like basis for how I'm going to do it. Now, what I want is I want it to look like the sunflowers are behind. I'm going to have my little rooster standing on the fence. He needs some dimensionals. I like dimensionals. I put a lot of dimensionals on cards. So I need my fence to be flat just so I can dimensional the heck out of everything. My team is the sparkling sunflowers. Oh, nice, nice. Sparkling sunflowers. Doesn't that sound nice? Like it just rained and now the sun is shining and all the sunflowers are sparkling. Okay. So my chicken or my rooster is just gonna be hanging out on the fence with the cows. So here's what I was trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out if the cows could be behind the fence looking out. But I think the sunflower, I think the cow, I think we're in the pasture. I think that's our view is we're in the pasture. I think the cows need to be on the inside of the fence with the fence behind them and then the flowers even behind them. Because I think to try to put them this way, I don't know if it works. That's what I was trying to figure out. I was going to see if we could, if I pop these up. But then they're going to look, I think the cows are going to look like they're in jail if I do them that way. I lose too much of the cow. So I think I'm just going to build the fence and then I'm going to put the cows on it like we're on the inside of the pasture and the sunflowers are behind them. That's what I've decided. Like I said, just winging it. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to put a fence post across the top here. If I was making a stand-up card, like a 3D stand-up card, I think I could have the cows behind the fence because I think I could have layers. And so the cows were far enough back from the fence that it didn't look like they were in jail. But I think doing it this way, they're going to look like they're in jail. So I'm just going to do it this way. So again, I'm going to dry fit this. What time is it? I've just been having so much fun, I didn't even pay attention. There we go. So I'm going to dry fit it so I get my spacing. Oh, I like how that's looking. And then in this case, now I'm holding the other one to keep my spacing, but I'm just going to put on the cross parts so I know where I'm going. So the snow has picked up since I started. I can see outside now the flakes are getting bigger. The snow's going again because it's springtime in Alberta and you never know what it's going to do from 1 minute to the next. There we go. And then one more fence board. Yeah, that's what I figured, Mary. It like I said, he looks like he's in jail otherwise. And I actually, I have him and his girlfriend hanging out in the pasture, actually. But we'll see if that's too busy. I don't know if it's. I knew by making it shorter, or by making it landscape, so that I could have a shorter fence. I would also have a wider pasture. And so yeah, I didn't actually do that, but I'm just checking to make sure I didn't actually glue my card shut. But, oh, I love how that fence turned out. So I do have, this is, oh, I have all sorts of things going on here. So I have my him and a her, and I made a milk can. And I cut some, this grass comes from the, I would call it the raccoon set, but playing in the rain, the playing in the rain set, I cut some grass so that I couldn't find grass tufts that were small enough. These one might be a little out of scale, but oh no, they're okay. I think they look okay. So I have those, but my plan was I've got my bowl. I wasn't sure if there was going to be room for that. That might just go on the inside of the card. And then I have my heifer. And I was going to have them just kind of like frolicking in the pasture. And then because I love the rooster, I was just going to pop him up. So I think I'm going to do like that actually. And then I'll just put a little sentiment on the top. Oh, just a minute. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't actually know if it's going to work to color these flowers, but we're about to find out. The real color, the color that's going to matter the most. My friend's fault it's snowing. She wore white. Who wears white pants? Come on, it's like washing your car and making it rain. Somebody on the radio yesterday said the snow was her fault because she took her winter tires off. I still haven't taken mine off, but that's just because I've been busy. So this little rooster is going to go here. So I want to check and see if I color my yellow blends. And we don't have curry, so I'm using my dark daffodil. If I color this, if it will stay like a true enough color on the blue. because the other ones are darker colors. I'm not worried about them. So my little test piece is where I know it's going to be covered up, just in case it doesn't work. As it turns out, it does work. It works lovely. So I'm going to do this. I feel like I shouldn't make you guys have to watch me color. Now, normally I would do lots of shading and stuff. I absolutely love coloring with the blends. But given that I'm coloring on blue cardstock, I don't think I'm going to quite get the shading I was going to get anyways. So what I'm going to do, because I like to live on the edge, is I'm just going to color these flowers so you don't have to sit there and watch me color. I'm just going to color the ones that I know I'm putting something in front of. And then I'm going to put my cows on, and then I'm going to kind of color. I'm going to color the rest after. And then I'll post a finished picture so you don't have to watch the whole thing. But yeah, the green is no problem at all. I got, this is the dark old olive. I didn't try the light ones. I just figured I was better off starting with dark given the color of the cardstock. If I was coloring on white, I would use the 2 different colors and all that. But I'm just going to do this. And even with one, like, with one blend, even if you're just using just the light or just the dark, you can still get shading just by going over it. Oh yeah, I get a bit of shading. So just by going over it with the same color a couple more times, you get a bit of, you can see you got a bit of shading on the leaves, right? But I'm just going to color these ones for now. Like I said, I love to color. I could sit and color for hours. I could sit and fussy cut for hours too. I know that's not everybody's thing, but I love it. Yeah. So here's the thing, Annika. I know how to fix all the mistakes because I've made them. And I usually can figure out a way because I'll just try anything. Like I hadn't tried this before. I'm like, oh, let's just do it together. So I have figured out ways to make it work because I like to just like wing it and not have a plan. Oh my goodness, look how cute these look colored on the cardstock. All right. Okay. Now what did I do with my rooster? I already pulled the backing off my rooster. So I set him on my glue bottle so I wouldn't stick him to anything. Oh my goodness, that's cute. So he's just hanging out because I love him. So he's on all the cards just because I love him. I do not know if there is my second favorite adhesive. Tear and tape is first, glue dots are second. I don't know if there is an actual way you were supposed to do this, but I just put 2 little glue dots on the kind of behind his nose, and then, or this is a her, I guess, and then stick it on. I like the jaunty angle of the head. And then same thing with the bowl, just a couple there. And him, he's more stern. He's gonna have his head straight up. I don't know why his eyes are closed, but he's gonna have his head straight up. Now, here's the other thing I was gonna tell you, and I learned this the hard way. I did it on my first card when I did this one. This is glued down. This has got a couple glue dots in places because I like to have, if you glue, then you use glue dots, then you use dimensionals. You get like 3 different layers. I like layers. So this is glued flat. This one has glue dots in between. And this one has the dimensionals on it. But I had to find a place to put the dimensionals that they weren't poking through over here. So that was the tricky part. So I decided after I was going like this. I was holding the flower down, and then I was picking it up and putting it down and guessing. And then I closed my card at one point. I stuck it shut. And so then I thought, what am I doing? The much easier way to do this would be to figure out where these guys are going to go. And then just put the dimensionals on the fence board instead of on the back of the cow. So I'm going to put 2 there. I just forgot where the feet went. And then I need 1 for the feet. I'm just going to trim this one in half because it seems like it's a little big. I'm going to put 1 on here. This one I happen to know was lined up like directly below that one. And then this one just needs to go over here. And then, because I'm pretty sure this is where these are going to go, peel all the backs off. And then I'm just going to make sure that I put the cow over top of them. but they're pretty close to where I wanted them to be. There we go. And now my cat is stuck down. That was so much easier than trying to stick it to the back of the flowers and try to make sure it was in all the right places. So she looks a bit like she's frolicking. She's got her front paws up, her front hooves up. So this guy's going to be just a bit taller. So him, same thing. He's going on this one. So we pop a couple of these bad boys down here. And then I don't want to have just one row because then he kind of rocks. He's got to be in a couple places. And I'm going to, I gotta switch my scissors because I have adhesive scissors and I have ribbon scissors and I have paper scissors. Gotta use the right ones. And then this one, even the mini dimensionals, I cut it in half sometimes. And then these ones line up pretty straight. So these two little halves, I'm gonna go like this. And we peel all the backings off. You know what? Sorry, you're gonna have to watch me color for a second because this one's not too bad. Most of what's sticking out, but this guy, he's gonna cover too much of these flowers. I just got to do some quick coloring here so I don't. So yeah, what's the weather like? Where did you say? Did you say you're in Holland? I don't want to just like generalize. Where'd it go? The Netherlands. What's the weather like in the Netherlands in the spring? Ours is just crazy. Alberta weather's always crazy in the spring. It'll be 30 degrees, that'll be 10 degrees, then yeah. At least I know in the Netherlands you use Celsius. So that's easier to keep track of what the weather is. Because I think May is tulip month. In Ottawa, like I think right at the beginning of the May is when they have the big tulip festivals in Ottawa, with all those tulips that were gifted to us from the Netherlands. So I got to think it's got to be getting pretty warm there to be pretty close to flower season. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to color faster. If I talk, it makes me color slower. So, but then I realized if I'm asking a question and then I look down to color, I can't look up to see the answer. So that wasn't a very good plan either. Have you seen this card before, Mary? Like I mean, I guess I've seen similar cards, but it seems to happen like that. All of a sudden, I'll see the same sort of technique or layout or something, and I'll just keep seeing it a couple times, like over and over in a couple of weeks. I mean, where I wouldn't have seen it before. But yeah, I wish I could find the things again that I had so I could say where the first person that I saw it from. You said you made with the wood fence, so that makes me think you've seen this before I did. Okay. I have, like I said, I haven't finished coloring. I'm just trying to color where the cow's going to block so that I have an easier time. I don't want to bend him. I was going to just like reach behind him, but I figure I'll end up bending him if I do that. So speed coloring at its best. I tend to make sound effects too. I'm trying to stop making sound effects with everything I do. Okay, there we go. Got more colored. Oh, here we go. Love it. Where'd my cow go? There we are. Normally we go in the temp slowly. Yesterday was 8. Mine, 8 to 10. Lots of, yeah, wind. Oh, see, I gotta think hail's not good for flowers. More like autumn than spring. Because is it getting close to tulip time? I don't know. That's probably not what it's called, tulip time, but the bloom, I don't know. There we go. Well, look at that. I got the right flowers covered. Oh, he's turning out so cute. Okay, so here's my other problem that I have. I have an addiction to twine, in particular, the linen thread one. I feel like no card is complete without a little bow somewhere on it. I don't know why. I don't know, good scissors. So I don't want to have like anything too extreme, but I feel like our little girl cow, our little heifer, needs to have like a little bow on her neck. So I'm making it out of the linen twine. I think this is turning out, like I said, I get these ideas in my head and then I think, I wonder if that'll work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. In this case, I think it dude. Yeah. Where'd my little things go? Okay, almost finished. Oh, I got 7 minutes left, so I'm good. So I'm just going to roll up my little glue dot, which is very sticky. So I can put a little bow around her neck. There we go, a little twine. Like I said, I will finish those flowers here in a minute. If we have time, I'll do it before we're done. If not, I'll do it afterwards. And then I think I'm going to have to use dimensionals here. I think the one in the corner, I'm going to have to put on dimensionals because it's too close to my cow's hooves and it won't work the other way. We don't have smaller ones. I was going to hand cut it. And then I did, just oddly enough, somewhere. Oh, I was cleaning out. I'm getting ready to switch everything over. And I have these, I found this little baggie full of like little pieces of grass that were from the golf set, but they were even bigger. So they looked funny. Some tulips are done already. Wow. Really depends on the kind. Starting those several, oh yeah. See, and that's so sad. The flowers are so pretty, and when they're just starting to come out, and then hail's so mean. Oops, I got those a little too big, but yeah, I've seen pictures of like when all the tulips start to come out and stuff, and it looks just amazing. I would love to see it in person one day. I have been to the Netherlands, but we were there in, I don't know, it was June of 2019, and Europe was having record hot weather. It was, oh, I don't know, 36 to 38 degrees every day for the 10 days that we were in Europe. And it was so hot. It was brutal. Okay, so I really like, there we go. I really like the grass, but it's covering his tail. So I'm just going to use my little take your pick tool if I can do it here. There we go. I have to put his tail in front of the grass. There we are. I don't want to cover any of my cow up. They're too cute. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little bit of grass on this one. That one I just, like I said, I had to use dimensionals because the cow was in the way. I'm going to put a little tuft of grass over here. And then I'm going to trim another one down because I don't want it to be super big. I'm just like cutting chunks off. So much wind as well. Like, yeah, our wind has been brutal. I mean, I grew up in and about here. And I don't remember us having so much wind, but it just seems in recent years, the wind just howls. It's like we're down south. We're in the, like really in the prairies. Many towns are planting bulb flowers blower. Oh, nice. Yeah, it would be so pretty to drive down the road and instead of seeing like just, empty spaces or grass or whatever or weeds and just to see flowers everywhere. Oh my God, it would be just gorgeous. There we go. Oh, look at how cute he is. I love this. So you can only see it this way. You can't, it does stand up very nicely. And like I said, I will finish coloring in those flowers. And then my thought was, because I was going to have all these cows here, I do think I might just stick this little guy in here, like in the corner as a nice little surprise, because you won't see him on the front. And then when you pop it open, there'll be like a little milk can in the corner. And then I'm going to take my little stamp set. Yeah, I love a good like little straight happy birthday that could be used on a ton of cards. And my favorite go-to is just to angle. Here's another trick for you. I'm just full of all my tips tonight. So I just cut this off this way. So in order to make this one and this one even, I'm just going to make sure I always flip it the wrong way. I'm just going to go like this and use the part I just cut off as my template so I get the right angle on the other end. And now they match. And I'm just going to put my little happy birthday again, as you may have noticed. I really love the dimensionals. I'm going to pop him up on dimensionals too. And I'm just going to put this guy up there in my little happy birthday. So there's my little cows frolicking in front of the fence. That's not glued down yet, so I have to do that. And that's how that one's going to stand up. And it's just so cute with the little frolicking. Anyway, yes. So I will post this when I'm done, but I'll finish coloring the flowers. So there's my landscape version with the 1/4-inch fence boards. Is there a cowbell? Yes, there is. I'll hold this up closer so you can see. Sorry, I got an itchy nose. Oops, there we go. Right there is the little cowbell. So yeah, we'll go a little farther down. There's also like this is like one of the, when I first saw this, one of the reasons I had to buy this was because it said, "Holy cow." The little things make a big difference. What's moo with you? Congratulations, milk it for all it's worth. It's your special day. And then yeah, there's a couple extra little faces that you can stamp on. I never did quite figure out what you're stamping on because they all have faces, but I think that these are, if you just use the punch, because it's got the punch with it, right? If you just stamp out the punch piece, then you could stamp like faces on it or little horns on it. I will tell you though, anything that's bundled beforehand, like not only is the bundle price going away with the new catalog, but the punches are all going up by $3. So if you do want to get this bundle, definitely get it before the 30th of April, because otherwise you're going to pay upwards of about $8 or $10 more. So yeah, little cowbell, the flowers, the pecan, little chickens, and then this awesome little sunflower stamp. So I love it. Okay, so that was my landscape with my 1/4-inch ones. There was my original one, which was my portrait with the 1/2-inch little fence boards or whatever. And then there was my, this isn't even the same thing, but it's what this card made me think of card. So that was what I was doing when I decided I was going to make a fence card. That was my playing. And I had lots of fun. So I will finish my coloring and I'll take pictures of all of these and I'll post them. And then if you guys try, like Mary, if you try this card or I would love to see what you guys come up with for cards. So feel free, post them on the thread. Everybody can look at them and we'll all get great ideas from each other. So I would love to do that. So there we go. Thank you, ladies, very much for joining me. And look at that. It's exactly 8 o'clock. I can pretend like I know what I'm doing and end on time. Okay. Take care, everybody. We'll be back again on Friday. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Mary. And yeah, have a great week. We'll see you on Friday.